Prunes, otherwise known as old plums. I think more commonly known as old people's favorite food. So today we'll be taking these old plums and turning them into ice cream. Why? I don't know. It was an idea I had and now we're here. So it's too late now. So I've actually never had a prune before because I myself am not old. So I will have to taste these first and then figure out what to do from there. Ooh. That is gnarly. They're basically giant raisins. So yeah, let's give it a taste and see how it is. So yeah, they're not bad. They're kind of remind me of dates. They're a little more fruity than them, but overall not bad. Nothing, some sugar can't help. They're like, the flavor is pretty subtle, but that's kind of what the interior looks like, just kind of goop. So I think for the ice cream, these are gonna need a little bit more moisture in them. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of the prunes. I might cut them up a little bit because these are really big, and then maybe let them soak for a little bit to get some moisture back in there. And then I can go ahead and make the ice cream. Okay, now that those are all chopped up, we're going to put all of this into a bowl, add a little bit of water, and then let those soak for probably about an hour, and then strain the water out of there, and it should be good to go. All right, now the water's been added, we'll come back to this in a little bit and see what happens. All right, so it's been a little over an hour and already you can see kind of integrated with the water. The water is like super dark and brown now. So anyway, so it appears it worked. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna strain this in here to get rid of all the water because I don't want the water in the milk because then that will crystallize when it freezes and not be good. Look at this. Yeah, that's looking pretty gnarly. I'm going to dump this, but this is kind of what that water looks like there. Okay, dump all that there. Yeah, that looks a lot better than when before I put in the water, so I think that was a good call. So now I'm going to add the dry ingredients and then kind of mash this together so it kind of breaks these apart a little bit, and then I'll add the milk. So this is our dry mixture, which is the usual sugar and then the vanilla pudding like dry mix. And then once we add the milk later, that'll help coagulate it into, you know, ice cream. Now, part of the reason I'm putting this in before I put in the milk is I want to kind of get the sugar mixed in with the prunes, all of that first, and then this is why we soaked it. You can see it's already kind of creating kind of a paste almost, and that's what I want before I add it because you want kind of that jelly consistency. And so if I had just put in the prunes just by themselves and hadn't done the whole soaking thing, it would not be as successful getting the prune flavor into the ice cream. Okay, that is truly cursed. All right, time for the milk. We're adding just about a cup to that. Ugh, this is looking rough, but I think that sweetness of the prunes is really gonna help this in the long run. You can see all the prune is starting to turn this kind of this brown color, which is weird because initially you would think this would turn more purple. All right, so that is ready to pour. And right now you're probably noticing all of the chunks that are still in here, and that is fine because once this freezes and we put it into the Ninja Creami, that will blend the rest of this so it'll be a lot finer chunks. But I wanted to at least get it to an easier size for it instead of it having to try to blend an entire frozen prune, because I don't know if the machine could handle that. Yeah, let's get this poured in there and set in the freezer. All right, let's get that in there. Yeah, that's super chunky. So from the initial smell test, I'm not getting a strong smell from this. So we'll have to see what happens afterwards. I'm hoping that flavor came through. There's 10 prunes in here, so if that doesn't do it, I don't know how much more I need to add. So yeah, let's get this in the freezer. So it's the next day. Let's see how this turned out. Once again, that got super dark. You can kind of see there. Still not a strong smell to this. I guess it's because the prunes have such a subtle smell already. So it's gonna really be down to taste on this. You can still see kind of the pulp and everything from the prunes themselves, but once we put that into the machine, that'll blend it up and that should be hardly there at all. So yeah, let's blend it up and see how it does. All right, this is looking interesting. You can kind of see here, there's still some of the chunks in there, but they're much smaller than they were before. It has kind of a grainy texture to it. And so I don't know if that was because it needed an extra spin or that's just from the prunes. I know they were pretty sticky, so that could have been part of it. Once again, there's not a strong smell to it. There's a little bit, it smells more like prunes now than it did before we churned it up, so that helps. It actually comes out pretty smooth. There's our garnish there. Kind of see that's what it all looks like. Interesting how we went from this to this. So yeah, I guess the only thing left to do is try it. Bon appetit.
That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
Huh, that is very interesting in a good way. It's actually, I would say I prefer this over the actual prune itself. And it might just because it's, sugar and it's frozen, so it's further away from being a prune, but it's very good. It's very still subtle in the flavor, but you get more of that fruitiness in the ice cream. I almost wonder if I was to do this again, I would include maybe honey or something else. It feels like it needs a second flavor to pair with it. And so I'm wondering if honey would be a good complement to that. But other than that, this is not half bad. So because of all that, I think I'm gonna give that a 4 out of 5. I think this works. Even if you just do it like this, works totally fine. But I think there's room for improvement for having a secondary flavor, and off the top of my head, I'm thinking honey would probably pair really well with this. But yeah, this was a pleasant surprise, and I might revisit this later because this actually works. Just wanted to take a moment and say thank you to everyone who's taken time out of their day to watch me make weird ice cream. Whether it's successful or not, this is fun for me to do, and it's fun to share it with you guys. So I appreciate all the support. And if you like this video, subscribe, comment any ideas you have for future videos. I'm always open to new suggestions. And if you want to share it with someone, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, hope you have a great day.